Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Today we're having a look at, well, some sort of progress I've been making on the Royal Fleet Auxiliary Light Fleet Tanker Black Rover. RFA Black Rover, anyway. At the bow end, there's not much more to say, apart from I've obviously knocked some green stuff off that one. I need to reduce, I'll probably do those again, they're a bit too chunky. That's just some reinforcing for the hawser ropes to go through, lines. I've done a bit, or haven't done, I've done this a while ago, I'm not sure if I showed it or not, but I just could see some shapes underneath. There's a lot more pipes than that. I doubt I'll be able to add any more, obviously going through these stanchions. I had to put some little reinforcing pieces on the stanchions that were there on the real ship. All these bars that I've done out of lead wire, they are reinforcing parts as well. They're probably just a bit over scale for this. It's supposed to be 1 in 700, but obviously with Gav's usual scale creep without a set plan, they might look alright once they're all painted in. There'll be some portholes, scuppers, I don't know, whatever you call them now, it's just left my head for a minute, but there'll be some of those in there. The one thing I've stuffed up yet again, well, not yet again, but the new stuff up is there is some reinforcing, like some bracing sheet metal. Obviously you've got some thinner ones which you can just about see, hopefully, with the light there, but these thicker panels, I've only done it on the one side so far, they should be from the one deck right up, and you shouldn't have this middle part, the deck, showing through them. But obviously I did this all, I built it like a layer cake and then added these on afterwards, and there's not a lot I can do really. If I try and, they're only thin bits of plasticard, and if I try and sand this piece of deck in, this piece of deck's going to go in and out, and it's got to have railings and everything on at some point. So unfortunately, we're going to see, can we get in a bit closer? As you can see, that you've got the line going through it there. There's not a lot I can do. There's just one extra piece. I don't know why they put an extra piece there, but there's obviously some reason for it there. I still might not drill all the way through, but just drill slightly where all the glass is supposed to be yet. There might be a gap or two. A couple of these reinforcers, by the way, have fallen off, so that's got to be readdressed. There was a gap in between the superstructure or some way in, but I'm having to see photographs, obviously mainly ships like this, you know, the real ship, or a sister ship, you know, Gold Rover, Blue Rover, Green Rover, Grey Rover. Yeah, you know, you're looking at different angles, and then obviously depending on what time it was in its what was it, you know, the period, whatever refit she's had, you know, it's really hard to see what's what, so you just got to do your best really. I've made so everything's in white plasticard, it's a bit hard to see where the anchor goes in. There's a reinforcing plate, and then there's a small welded semicircle where the anchor actually goes in. Made the anchor up, and then it's got a thicker skid plate, more or less, for the anchor that comes out slightly. This here is a chain, or the anchor chain. It's obviously the winch that, or the drum that I presume is inside this thicker piece of plastic. It's like a housing, and then it drops down this slide here, and then obviously disappears. I'm not sure if it goes straight across the deck or through a hole. I still haven't been able to get a photograph that looks down that way at it. There'll be another set of, this is florist wire, there'll be another set of reinforcers, like piers, go underneath this deck area here. This is off skew, I can't really do anything else with it really. There's some type of box there, and then a small platform that goes right up, a small, obviously, railings that go around it, but obviously no railings were put to the end. I've got obviously where you tie the ship up, bollards even. And this is like got a small drum on it here, and I wouldn't say a drum, but you know, something where you I can't think of the word at the moment, where you'd run a rope over. So whether it's when she's got her derricks out and she's refueling, whether she runs a line down the back and can refuel, because often these tankers can refuel literally to the sides and behind as well. And I'm wondering if, I think that might be for that. You literally pay the derrick will hold out the line, and maybe they bring it back here. I really don't know. I'm just surmising that. On here, this is all open under here, and there's a couple of there's a hole in the deck, for want of a better word, and they've got covers over it. Or the one time that I'd got a decent photographs, there was covers over it, so I did that. Obviously, got some supports again there. This seemed to me like to be something that they could lift up, this square section here. So like the little gaps there, that's what I could see in the original ship's photographs that I was looking at. Giving this a slight curve, because now the superstructure's really got to start building up. I've got to do the. I have a love-hate relationship with this one. I think it'll look like Black Rover from a distance. I've scale creeped all over the place. I've got this very slight lift here, but the ship did go up. It did go up in the photographs I was looking at. There are some blueprints online for it, but it's for the remote control ones, and I think they're about 80 quid. I'm not going to pay that, and then I'd have to then pay to have them rescaled down and that. So it is just what I'm building her off, just looking at photographs. Added to, this one got put on a few nights back when I was doing this. So I've got to do these. I'm going to be doing that probably tomorrow. I'm going to have a good day on this. I usually try and get a good 3 or 4 hours session in a week, and then maybe the odd hour, but I'm obviously painting that 1:16 figure at the moment, and I've been doing a lot on that. But yeah, so basically you've got a superstructure will come up here with the usual funnel, and this is a helicopter landing deck here. She hasn't got any capacity to well, she hadn't, she's gone now obviously, but she didn't have a capacity to have a hanger on. It was all just land and take off type of thing. So that's it really, but she's getting there, bit by bit. I still haven't done anything more to these bow anchors. Bow anchors. I just thought, I was undecided whether to fit the one on the back, the stern anchor, and just put the main bits on, because I thought, I'm bound to knock it off, but she's had so much glue on, cement, whatever they want to call it these days, that I don't think she's going anywhere. So before I start any of this superstructure, I mean, ideally the superstructure could have been sunk in, but I'm just going to have to do my best like I've done there. I'm going to give a sanding to these because I've had to put these on with super glue, and they need a good sanding just to get the roughness off them. Also, there's like I would imagine some form of pump, as I've said before, that goes here. Well, it turns out that there's a dirty great big hole somewhere around here that goes through to this deck below where this pump is underneath. So I'm going to have to cut out that as well. The two big holes, I can't remember if I've said before, they're for the main derricks that go up. These are for shorter ones that support, I believe, the hawsers help support the derricks here. And so does this one on this side. And they got working lamps off them and stuff. Now it's very, very busy, all on here, but I wanted to build the superstructure all in first. So we'll see after 4 or 5 hours tomorrow what progress we've made. I'd like to think I've got, because it was a pain in the bum putting these stanchions on, just getting them, as I say, I'd shot myself in the foot. I thought I was going to be able to cut out a solid piece of plastic over the top of these, but then I realised that none of these really matched the 3 decks. So when I tried to put it on, it was just all over the shop, and it was just, I thought, no, we're just going to cut them out and stick them on, and it is what it is. And as I say, each scratch build I do, you know, I learn a bit more from it. So, but I do beat myself up a lot on it. Sometimes I think, oh, it's not too bad. Other times I think this looks rubbish. but yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update. That, you know, I can only give them updates when there's a fair bit to show. And I mean, that wasn't a lot, but I just realised I hadn't put one up for ages, and I just wanted to prove that, yeah, I'd been out of the modelling vibe for a couple of months after losing Archie. But I have been doing bits on this over the last couple of weeks, but you know, an hour here and an hour there. So it's got a slight thing as well, but I think that's just down to something under here. But I'm not particularly fussed on that, because it'll go on a little base and have a bit of a C base around it. So thanks a lot for stopping by and taking a look. I just wanted to show that I have made some progress. I think all this is new, really. And as I say, you spend so much time looking at photographs, which I enjoy looking at photographs of shit, but because you're not working from a set plan, you're constantly trying to find roughly era photographs. And I said the simplest form I'm doing, if she had the orange lifeboats rather than the whaler boats that she carried in the first half of her, you know, her career, I'm going roughly on that. And then cross-examining what the deck would look like, you know, in those photographs. But you might have a view like that, but you never get a proper deck down view. They're always taken a lot of the times from another ship, and you're literally looking at angles with loads of shadow in, and yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. But never mind, she'll look like the Black Rover, hopefully, at the end of the project, which should take probably until about next June. As I say, it's just when I fancy picking it up, you know, I do a bit and then put it back again, and you know, and it's just when I feel like, I think I'll get more involved in it again. I mean, this knocked me back a bit when I saw what mess these were looking, but again, I said to myself, what do you do, Gav? Put it as yet another unfinished build, or do you see it through to the end and you've learned something from it? And it still might look, you know, something like Black Rover or the Rover class of tankers when she's finished. As I say, anybody that just stumbled through, it does look small for a tanker, because the class was, it's a light fleet tanker, but they went all around the world for the service in the Royal Navy. And as I said to you guys, it's the Royal Fleet Auxiliaries is a separate part of the military, and it deals with all the replenishments and the maintenance side of things for the Royal Navy, and they literally spend, you know, well, they just go all over wherever the Royal Navy needs them. They're there. So yeah, thanks a lot for stopping by and taking a look. I put a couple of photographs at the end, but to be fair, there's nothing really that you haven't seen on the video itself. So look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.